If this found you, you are being called to treat yourself like the sacred soul that you are. And you were meant to find this before you give up on love, or on being seen clearly, or on the version of you that feels most sacred and most honest. I pulled 4 cards from my Oracle of the Mermaids for you today. I am obsessed with this deck. It's so pretty. And they're actually very clear that this is not about a crush or a situationship. This is about your relationship with your own reflection and with the divine. We're going to walk through them one by one, and then I'm going to close by giving you a really simple ocean ritual you can do to lock this in if you'd like. So, and even if you're nowhere near the sea, you can still do it. So the first card that came out for you is the Return of Aphrodite. The guidebook explains this card as a temple, birth of the goddess, guidance, goddess energy, treating as sacred. This is the energy of your own divinity, rising back up after a season where you might have felt used or dismissed or treated like maybe you are easy to replace. This card is not about you becoming worthy, though. It is about you remembering that you already are and letting the truth change the standards you hold in love, in friendships, and maybe even in work or in how you talk to yourself. There's a version of you that walks through the world like a moving temple, where your body, your heart, your ideas, and your time are treated as holy ground. And Aphrodite is here to tell you that this version is not a fantasy. It is the baseline that your life is trying to shape itself around. You are being guided back into spaces, relationships, and rituals that treat you as sacred. And anything that refuses to do that is going to start falling away faster now. And the second card that came out for you is Reflections. This is also so pretty. The guidebook explains this card as what you contemplate can actualize. And to me, this is a reminder that your focus is not neutral. It's not harmless background noise. It is literally shaping what you live inside. You are being asked to notice what you've been mentally rehearsing on repeat. Maybe the worst case scenarios or old failures or people who just didn't choose you, or maybe it's the fear that you're too late or too much or not enough. And the mermaids in the guidebook talk about how important it is to stop reacting out of panic, to step out of that desperate urge to do something just to prove that you care, and to sit long enough that your mind can clear and your real knowing can come through. There's a line in here in the guidebook about how it is not unfeeling or unkind to choose contemplation instead of frantic action. And that is a direct message for you, I feel. You are not lazy for needing to pause. You are not falling behind because you are refusing to scramble. You are being invited into a season where your reflections become clean and deliberate. You start choosing to contemplate futures, relationships, and versions of yourself that actually feel aligned, not just familiar. Every time you catch yourself spiraling on someone else's opinion or on old shame, you are being asked to gently turn your attention back toward the reality that you actually want to live in. And the third card here is Transparency. And the guidebook explains this card as honest, authentic, genuine, present. This is where the work gets real, honestly, because it asks you to tell the truth, not the watered down truth that keeps everyone comfortable, not the performance of truth that gets you validation, but the real, slightly trembling honesty about who you are and what you want and what you're not willing to carry anymore. The mermaids talk in this card about how there is a truth that must be told and how there is information that others deserve to know. Sorry, I didn't know where I put the card for a second. They describe this moment where you finally drop the constant monitoring of yourself, that feeling of always watching what you say, what you show to the world in case you accidentally reveal who you really are. I feel that you're being invited into a life where you don't have to hide and edit and fix yourself just to be allowed in the room. From this point forward, people will say you've changed. My cat just meowed. I don't know if you heard that. That's a confirmation, I feel. But in reality, you are becoming who you always were at the very heart of you. This card is a promise that as you risk being more transparent, more of the right people will show up. The guidebook literally says that as you become more accustomed to trusting others, trustworthy people will appear, and that you are worth loving, all of you, the past, the present, and who you are becoming. So yeah, I would let that land. And the fourth and final card for you today is Time and Tide. And the guidebook explains this card as oceanic spells and rituals. And this is the part where the mermaids stop talking in theory and start asking you to actually do something. Time and Tide is all about sacred action and real ritual, not just vibing with pretty ideas. The guidebook talks about how in older times we kept festivals and rituals so the mother could breathe in and out more easily, and how offerings, cleaning the shore, detangling creatures from nets, even singing and dancing under the moon were all spells. This card is reminding you that your connection with the divine, with the sea, with your own soul gets stronger every time you treat your life like a living ritual instead of a random scramble. There's a line in here in the guidebook that says the most sacred thing of all is a magical action at low tide, and that before we take anything from the shore, we make an offering to the sea. And translating that for you, before you ask for more love, for more clarity or visibility or support, you're being asked right now to give something first, whether that's your honesty or attention or your gratitude or just your willingness to show up differently. So when you put these four cards together, the Return of Aphrodite, Reflections, Transparency, Time and Tide, the message is pretty loud to me. You are being returned to yourself as sacred. You are being asked to clean up the mirror in your mind. You are being pushed to tell the truth about who you are and what you want. And then you are being invited into a simple, deliberate ritual to anchor all of that in your actual life. And this is not about chasing someone to love you better. This is about becoming the version of you who is so grounded in your own worth and so honest in your own reflection that anyone who approaches you can feel the difference. And because this last card is about oceanic spells and rituals, I wanted to offer you one simple mermaid ritual that you can try if it resonates. So take what works for you and leave the rest, but you're always welcome to adapt this or create your own version that feels right in your own body and your own life. So even if you're nowhere near the ocean, sometime in the next few days, I want you to take a bath, a shower, or even just get a bowl of water and just be with the element of water and treat it like a tidal pool. This is your time and tide moment. Before you step in or before you dip your hands in, I want you to make an offering, and that could be a few words of thanks out loud, or it could just be something simple like a song you want to hum like a mermaid, or a promise that you're ready to keep, or even just your full attention for a few minutes with no distractions. Then, as you're in the water, I want you to imagine it as a living ocean, moving around you like a mermaid's healing pool. Let the water drag through your energy and let it wash away anything that has been dulling your reflection. Other people, whether that's other people's opinions, old shame, stories about you being too much or not enough. habits of over explaining or people pleasing, you don't have to force anything. Just give the water permission to take what you're ready to release. And when you're done, dry off, stand in front of the mirror, and this is your reflections and transparency moment here. Look yourself in the eyes and tell the truth out loud or in your head if you have to. One thing you are no longer willing to hide. One thing that you are ready to receive. And one way you're willing to treat yourself as more sacred from now on, because you really deserve that. It can be small, it just has to be honest. And then as you walk away from that mirror, I would imagine Aphrodite walking with you. Like you're both stepping out of the sea together. And let that energy change the way you move through your day. So my name is Mason. I really hope this reading resonated with you or was healing in any type of way. If you did enjoy the reading and if you're interested in joining me here on my journey, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. Oh, also I have 000 on my shirt today, so that might be that might be significant for you, or maybe it could be an angel number that you might be seeing in the future. So I love you all so much. I'm sending you lots of love and blessings. So bye.